Welcome to the recorded information session on the proposed renovation that the council is bringing forward. As you listen to this, you've received the link through an email attachment, and hopefully you also have been able to look at the drawings attached. There are two renderings of giving a three-dimensional perspective on what we are planning on accomplishing, as well as the floor plan. From the beginning, our hope is that our church will be well informed about what we are accomplishing with this next phase of renovation. And so please, if you have any questions, feel free to call any member of council and bring your questions to them, and those members will do their best to answer and/or find out and to be able to respond to any and all questions. There will be a church special meeting called Sunday after worship, December 12th, in order to vote and make a decision on this proposed plan as we're presenting today. So in preparation for that, again, conversation, communication, transparency is all very important. As an overview, what we're hoping to accomplish through this renovation is threefold. First, to expand the size of Memorial Hall. We experience, for those of us who are familiar with the church layout, we know that in many settings, our hall is stretched to capacity the size that it is now. And so by being able to remove the stage and remove the restrooms as they're configured now, we expand the square footage of this hall in order to empower us to have larger gatherings, whether it is our church bazaar, our coffee house that has been popularly attended in the past, or simple potlucks, or also following memorial services for collation, and also in and around wedding events. We'll be able to offer a climate-controlled, it's going to have heat and ventilation as a dedicated system for this ground level. We'll be able to offer a climate-controlled space, and especially we know, for example, during a heat wave during the summer, we'll be able to meet down here. Further, during the week with regular activities like our Tuesday Bible study prayer group that we anticipate meeting again sometime in the not too distant future, as needed, either to cool during the summer or to heat, there will be a dedicated system just for this ground level of the church. And so we believe that it really enhances and empowers the church to move forward in ministry in those areas. We are working with our primary contractor and our architect. It's the same company that did the preceding renovation. Jack Livingston is our general contractor, and Al Kearney is the architect that is working with us. And so Al and Jack have met with the council, and we have processed all the different options, and we believe that this option represents one of the strongest plans to move forward and accomplish in ministry and empowering our ministry to move forward. So I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but hopefully you can envision the removal of the stage. The back wall will remain there. Behind the back wall of the stage, there will be the hallway that's already existing, which will gain access to the two new unisex, fully handicapped restrooms, and it also will give a walkthrough to the back entranceway of the kitchen so that people will easily gain access. Further, the pass-through with the screen is going to be moved to the wall of the kitchen, existing kitchen wall, facing Elm Street. And then the front door of the kitchen and the screen, that wall will be filled in. One of the reasons why we chose that is because we noticed when we had events and people would naturally gather around the coffee, there would be a congestion with coming and going through that door. So by bringing the pass-through around the corner, it makes a cleaner egress in and out, and it gives the opportunity for hospitality and the importance of pass-through for not only people coming and receiving, but also people in the kitchen helping to facilitate whatever gathering we're having. So that, again, expansion of space, function, and new restrooms are some of our primary goals that we were seeking to accomplish. There are some more technical aspects, but safety as well as replacing out-of-date systems. So I'm just going to cite two details of that, our step forward. Many of us know when we've offered hospitality for Christmas in the Square, we have people volunteer with delicious soups. And we have tables lined up with homemade soups. And we know that when we go to plug them in, oftentimes we trip fuses, okay? Because they're too much power drawing. So that will be addressed. And along with that, even as I plugged in our camera, again, the wiring is outdated and it will be upgraded to meet code of today. I had to get an adapter to plug in the camera because the extension cord had 3-prong and our receptacles only have 2-prong. Okay, so that's just one small example of updating. The more significant update is our current restrooms are configured in such a way where the waste pipe actually flows under Memorial Hall over to the Elm Street side, the parking lot side, in order to then connect to town sewer on Main Street. When were those pipes put in? Our best guess, somewhere around 1930, which means we're talking about somewhere around 90-year-old pipes under this building. How accessible are those 90-year-old pipes under the building if they were to fail? They're not accessible, okay? By moving the restrooms to the back portion of the church, it's now close to the boiler room where all new plumbing, both supply for water, hot and cold, as well as our waste pipes from not only the new bathrooms, but also for the kitchen, will now be tied into the pipe that was installed with our last renovation. And so we're upgrading to a new system for that waste management, which, as we all know, in any house is an essential function. And so I won't go into the details of how it's done, but the plumber has looked at the plan and said, yes, we can do it that way. And so again, safety, electrical, as well as upgrading systems that are very old. As Judy Margetts put it, you don't want to put good over bad. Okay? So it really necessitates an upgrading of some of our primary systems. Also, along with the new HVAC, which is the same type of heat pump system we have in our new office space, it gives us great control and efficiency that we don't have now with the hot air system and the steam system. We will still have the steam system for heat in the sanctuary, especially during winter when we need it. So that gives an overview. Again, I invite questions. In the meantime, Terry, as treasurer, will come forward and offer the overview from the financial point of view.
Thanks, Gary. So the good news about financing the renovation is that we do have the funds available to us today. And if you look at this sheet that you should have from your handouts, you'll see how we're funding it. So back in 2018, we sold the Gilman House, and of those proceeds, we invested some of that money into the second and third floor construction. But after that was taken out, we still have, with market appreciation, funds of $402,000 in that Gilman House fund. So that's a big portion of what will help us fund this particular construction. We also have interest that's been generated from that fund, and we're going to use that as well, or we could potentially use that as well. And then there was a special gift given to us in Christmas of 2019. The totality of that gift was $50,000, and at the time, we were having a tough year financially, and that particular family member allowed us to use that to go against what we call our general reserves, so that we wouldn't be eating away at them. So we have $25,000 of that $50,000 gift still available to us, and Gary has met with that donor, and they are very happy to have this be a part of the funding for the construction. And finally, we have a request from William Reed. Many of you will remember William Reed. He is a beloved member of our congregation. He left a bequest in his will to us. The family has given us $15,000 of that bequest so far, with a promise of more over the next several years, but that $15,000 is available to us now if we want to use it for the funding. So the total funding that we have available to us is $462,000 and a little more. Of that, we have a construction estimate that we've put together of $360,000, and I'll walk through those details in a sec. So fortunately, that leaves us $100,000 left, and that would be a good source of funding for anything else that comes up. So our construction estimate from our contractor, Jack Livingstone, is $250,000. So that makes up the bulk of what we need to spend on this construction. We've calculated a budget overrun of 15%, so that's that $37.5. Now, it's not that we want to have a budget overrun, obviously, but when we had the second and third floor construction, we did find an issue, and that isn't unusual in a building that was built in 1828 originally and had an addition in 1930. So at that construction, we found we had to put in an extra beam, and that cost us more than we originally thought we were going to on that particular construction. So that's why we're being conservative in putting a $37.5 budget overrun calculation. Al Kearney, who is our architect, we are estimating that his services will cost 6% of the cost of the construction, so that's where that $15,000 comes from. The electrician, now within Livingstone's estimate, they do have some money set aside for electrical work to bring things up to code, but Gary met with the electrician to make sure that he took a look at the current configuration that we have. And in order to make sure that we have enough money to be really safe as we add functions into this space, particularly the HVAC system, that we put aside some more money to make sure we can cover the electrical needs. Eastern Alarm, which are smoke detectors, we're going to have to install a couple extra smoke detectors, so that's what that expense of $2,500 is about. Appliances, we're going to need a dishwasher, a new stove, ovens. So Gary has gone and taken a look at George Washington Toma to look at, cost of those types of appliances, a refrigerator, of course. So we're estimating $15,000 for appliances. And then cabinets and countertops, Al Kearney, our architect, has given us an estimate of $30,000 for that particular set of fixtures. And then fixtures, within the Livingstone estimate, he does have some money set aside for sinks, but beyond that, we want to make sure that we have enough money in case we want to upgrade from what he has estimated. So that's the $3,000. So it totals up. Did I make a mistake? You can correct me.
You're on point.
You can correct me if you would like. And so this estimate comes out to about $360,000. We hope that we can come in under that, but we want to make sure that we cover anything unexpected that could come up. So hence the $360,000, and then that leaves us a little bit over $100,000. And that would remain as an investment in the Common Investment Fund. That is the fund that we've been using for well over a decade now. It provides a great return, but that return, that interest generated from that $100,000 would potentially give us approximately $5,000 per year, and we're going to need that as we continue to need to do maintenance on this beautiful building that we have, whether that be painting or something unexpected that comes up. So that's really the financial overview. We are blessed that we have these funds, and so that's where we're expecting to ask the congregation on the 12th to approve the expenditure of $360,000 for this construction. That's it.
Thank you, Terry. Again, Terry, as our treasurer, has done such a wonderful job with our overall finances, but especially keeping track of our special funds. That is such a vital job of what she has done as treasurer. So that provides an overview. Again, we look forward to receiving any and all questions, including those who are gathered now physically after the recording is turned off, and those who are listening to this, making available the information by clicking into this link. We look forward to questions, and most important, we look forward to having an informed vote Sunday, December 12th, not to win and lose, but to discern, is this a plan that reflects good management of resources that have been given to us to upgrade our building, to empower our ministry to move forward? Is this pleasing to God? That's what we want to have this vote reflect. So God bless, and thank you so much for your time and attention.